Matt Karasek here with a quick tutorial on Cami. And the biggest question that most teachers have who are coming from iPads to Chromebooks is how are Notability and Cami similar and different, and how can I use Cami with a Chromebook? So thinking about that, on the screen you'll see that we're going to look at creating a PDF assignment that students can turn in directly to Schoology, and also allow students to turn in PDFs without you creating the PDF assignment, but that they could type on a PDF and send it to you as well. Allow students to use AVID strategies by numbering the paragraphs, highlighting key terms, underlining author's claims, and charting a text, article, poem, etc. Create worksheets that students can type on, write on, erase on, highlight, underline, add shapes, and comment on. Now, one caveat that I told all of the sessions is that I exclusively use Cami for articles, that the students are working with articles, numbering, highlighting, underlining, charting, all that stuff. I don't use it for worksheets. I think there are many better tools. I don't use it for photos. I know that's one big concern that teachers have, is that the uploading of pictures to the PDF. I'll show you there is a way to do it from the internet, but that's really the only workaround that we have right now. But as I've talked to some other teachers, there might be a better tool out there. Remember, Cami is just one tool in the toolbox, and there are many, many, many tools out there. For example, if you're wanting art, if you want students to display their art and upload a picture of their art, I would suggest Google Slides and having them create a portfolio, having a picture on each slide and maybe a little, either the text in the note at the bottom or a text box in the slide itself. Or they're different things. Maybe it's a discussion board where they're uploading a picture in the discussion board, those types of things. So anyway, that's my little soapbox about that. So I just want you to think, what is the end goal and how can I get there? And is Cami the tool to get me there? Okay, and then the last two things, see how Cami integrates with Google Drive. It should be Drive Docs, and then an advanced tool, split, merge PDFs, and then OCR. And we'll talk about that when I show you what Cami looks like. So that is my hope, that you learn those things and become experts. It's pretty user-friendly, so I will show you that. Okay, so in creating an assignment, as I always tell in my tutorials, a lot of teachers just click the add materials and they click this in the drop-down menu, and it automatically goes to the bottom of the Schoology page. I like to keep mine organized, though you can't really tell from this. It looks pretty disorganized, but that's because I demonstrate a lot of different things on here. And so one thing that I tend to tell teachers is that if you hover over the gray line, it'll turn into a green dashed line. And wherever I click on that is where the materials go. So if I click on that, I get the same options, but now instead of going way down to the bottom, it goes exactly where I want it to go. So I'm going to click Add Assignment. And then obviously you name it and do all that stuff. You'll notice that it says Google Drive Assignments and Cami. I'll talk about that in a second, but basically you would create the assignment. I've already created one, so I'm going to click out of this. I just wanted to show you where this blue Cami button is because I'm going to talk about it again. So when I go into the assignment, so I've added the title, the description. One thing that I really, really want to make clear, for at least my students I do, is every PDF assignment, which I do have a number because I use the AVID strategies pretty much on a daily basis, is I have this turn in open with Cami in big, bold, red letters because I want them to click the Cami button. And I'll show you that in a minute, how that's different. And then I also have how they turn it in. There's 3 clicks: turn in, submit. okay? And I'll show you that again, what it looks like on the student end. One thing that is super duper important is when you create the assignment and you're attaching your PDF, it has to be an uploaded file. Why it has to be, I don't know. If you click resources, my PDFs are in Google Drive, but I do have the Google backup and sync on my computer. So I could go to my resources and find it, but I don't want to go there because it won't work. It doesn't sync it to the assignment for some reason. I'm not sure why Schoology does that. So it has to be from a file upload. So I click file upload, find it on my computer, and then it'll upload like this. Okay, so I've got my PDF, so I've already done that. I found my PDF. You'll notice that this cami button is there. It doesn't work. It's only for the paid version, which is okay because we don't need it. Okay, then obviously you have your due date and points and all that fun stuff. Okay, so then you click save. I'm just going to click cancel. So now that's the teacher end creating the assignment. Most of the rest that I'll show you, it looks exactly the same for students and teachers. Okay, before I continue, you'll notice that I see this open with cami button. Okay, your students will see open with cami because on all Chromebooks in the district, they have this little cami button. Okay, so they have the cami button that they can just, that it's installed already. Okay, the extension is installed. You, on the other hand, may need to install the cami extension. So if you just Google cami Chrome extension, it should be the first thing that pops up. You open it, you add to Chrome. So there's a blue button that says add to Chrome. You just add that to Chrome, and then you'll have the cami extension on your Google Chrome browser. Okay, and then you will see it. So if you're like Mr. K or Matt Karasek, I can't see this when I make an assignment, a PDF assignment. It's because you don't have cami installed. So you need to install that. Okay. So again, this is what students see. They see the directions, they see open with cami. If they click this, it downloads to their Chromebook. If they click this, it opens a new tab. But if they click this, open with cami, it opens up the assignment or the PDF. And it automatically syncs the assignment to the document. So anytime, let's say they close out, you'll notice that when I open it, there's already things on it. If they close out and come back to it a day or two later, and they click open with cami again in that same assignment, everything is automatically saved. And the reason it's saved is because it syncs it with Google Drive. So technically, when you create an assignment using cami, it creates a folder automatically, automatically creates a folder in your Google Drive called cami. And then it also creates subfolders for every class. So if you create a PDF assignment in your, I teach ELD, in my ELD1 class, it will have the folder cami and then a subfolder in ELD1, and then it will have this document in there. Okay, same thing even if I use the same PDF, but I create the assignment in my ELD2 class, it'll have the main folder cami, subfolder ELD2, and then this PDF. Okay, and then all the students' assignments will also go in there in that folder as well. Okay, so it kind of organizes the Google Drive folder for them already, which is nice. And maybe a con because it doesn't teach them how to organize themselves. So it might be a lesson for you to teach them later as well. So again, it syncs. So now this document is synced specifically to that assignment, which is fantastic. So now I'm going to show you the features that you and the students have in cami. So the first feature is the pointer, pretty basic. As you can see, if I hover over some of these that I've already done, I can delete, I can make a comment, I can make a copy, I can change the color of it even, okay? I can delete, I can make it bigger, okay? And if I click in there, it'll give me this drop-down menu, which I'll talk about in a second. I can mark up. So again, I teach a lot of AVID strategies, marking the text. So if this is a paragraph and this is a paragraph, I might have them either draw the number per paragraph or use a text. Okay. And again, you'll notice that we can't change the font, but we can change the size, and we can bold, italicize, underline, the color, all that stuff. So most of it's the same. So not a big deal, but you'll have all these options like Google Docs and Microsoft Word. Okay. The other piece, so the second step is highlighting, right? Highlighting key terms. So as long as it's a text, you can use this text highlighter. So I can double click, it'll automatically highlight, or I can scroll over and it'll highlight. Okay. It has to be text. So if you took it from, if you created a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document and turned it into a PDF, it should automatically have it recognized as a text. However, if you took a book or a paper and you scanned it in, technically it's a picture, it's an image. So then it won't recognize the text. So there are two things that you and or the students can do. If you upload it, you can go into Cami, you can click this 3-bar, you can click this OCR button for scanned PDFs. So OCR means something optical, something recognition, so it recognizes words. So let's say this was a scanned PDF. It would then, once I click that button, it would then recognize these as words and not just a picture. Okay? I would recommend doing it and then uploading the PDF to your assignment. That way the students don't have to do that. Okay? Otherwise, the students could do the same thing. Once they upload an image, a scanned PDF, they can click the OCR. Or another easier way, if you don't want to worry about the hassle of that, just click the box highlighter, and then it doesn't matter where you highlight, if there is text or not, you can just go like that. The problem is when it comes to underlining, right? You can't underline things that aren't there, right? You can't underline a picture. It has to be, didn't mean to do that, has to be a text. Okay, so and I can change the color of the underlining. Okay, so those are the different features. You can do comments. I don't think I've ever used comments before, but you can use it, I guess, if you want. You can actually share, since again, you have access to this document in your Google Drive. So technically you can collaborate together. Now it's not live collaboration, not like Google Docs or Google Slides where you can see somebody typing. You would have to go in and click save. If you're working on it at the same time as somebody else, you'd have to kind of do that every so often. That way, whatever the other person is working on, you'd be able to see. Okay, so again, there's the drawing. You can create shapes. You can do like a Venn diagram if you wanted to, or a 3-column for KWLs, those types of things. The eraser button, obviously I can erase. Okay. The two that we don't have, or the one really that most people, most teachers are concerned about, is this media. We can't, for some reason, upload or copy images from our Google Drive. Okay? In order to paste a picture, it needs to be, you need to be able to either right click and do a copy or a Command C. Okay? So unfortunately, for some reason, you can't do that because we don't have the paid version. However, there is a slight workaround if you can Google the picture. So it can't be a picture that the student takes, but it can be an image that's on Google. Okay. So again, you might want to think, okay, do I need students to take pictures of things in my class if they're taking notes? Maybe you want to type them out and send it to them. Then they can add it to their notes, right? So trying to think of what is the end goal of the reason they're taking a picture. So what I'm going to do, just quickly to show you that you can put images in the PDF, but again, it has to come from online, at least so far. I haven't found a workaround yet. So if I click on the cami, actually I'm going to click a different one. Okay, actually I'm going to do that one. Now, in order to copy it, it does need to be the big one. I can't right click and copy image here. I have to copy it here. Same with if you copy URLs, by the way. You can't copy the URL down here. It has to be copy image address over on the big image. Okay, just for further reference. So then I'm going to go back to cami, Command V, and there it is. And when I can move it around, I can resize it, I can delete it, I can crop it, okay, I can rotate it, those types of things. Okay, so those are the features that cami has. So now the question is, how do students turn it in? Well, cami made it pretty easy. Again, even though in the assignment creation there was the blue cami button, students see this turn in button. So they click the turn once they're ready. They click the turn in button. Then they click the turn in button again. So turn in, turn in. Once they click this big blue turn in button, it automatically brings them back to this assignment. Even if the tab's not open, it'll open up a new tab and it'll bring them to this assignment. And there will be a pop-up window right here. And then it'll have a button that says submit. So they just click the submit button. Okay, so just a reminder, I always tell the students, turn in, submit. Turn in, submit. After a couple times, they remember to open it with cami and they remember to turn in, submit. So pretty easy. Okay, as you can see, several teachers already turned it in. So I'm going to show you Dan Boyd's. So he did two different versions. So the first version, as a teacher, this is as the teacher seeing the students work. So there's revision 1. He turned it in once. Let's say he was missing a couple things that I wanted him to work on. Maybe he didn't highlight enough keywords or didn't underline anything, didn't write in the margins. So I can give him comments. And again, you have access to this. So you have access to drawing right on the PDF. There's no text button, which I don't understand why Schoology does that, but that's okay. So you need to make sure that your note is as close as possible to where the error is or the comment should be. You can also highlight, which I've done here, the blue classroom. Okay, so I gave Dan, ooh, good job, but don't forget. Okay, so Dan, and I gave him a grade. He could see what so actually I did the circling and I did the commenting. So Dan can see what I wrote when he opens up his assignment again. And it might say, please, in the comments, I might say, please redo underlining. So Dan goes back, opens up, I'm going to close this again, sorry, goes back to the assignment, clicks open with cami, comes back to the assignment, fixes it or changes it or adds things to it, clicks turn in, submit for the second time. He will see that he turned it in twice, and I will see that he turned it in twice. So it says revision 2. So you'll notice that my comments are different than the first one. So here I just have one comment, great job. You'll notice that he's added the red redo and different things. So he added it. So I can give him a new grade and I can give him a new grade comment. And then if you do give them a comment, make sure you click show to student so that way they can see it in the gradebook. Okay, so those are the basics of cami. Okay, so hopefully you learned how to create a PDF assignment, how to have students mark the text, how to type on, write on, highlight, underline, add shapes, comment, how it integrates with Google Drive, so again, the folders. We talked about OCR, split and merge, it's in the same section. So if you click that little button you can split and merge documents. Okay, so if you want to put two PDFs together, or if you have 2 pages and you want to split them apart, okay, so you can do it that way. The only other thing that teachers ask about is what if they just want to take notes and they don't want them to turn it in? I have 2 comments. One, you can still create an assignment with 0 points. That way it keeps it organized, right, for that student's Google Drive, so in the proper folders. And then that way you can easily find it as well. And it titles it and all that stuff. But it's not a big deal if you want them to just have notes. That's okay. There is a way to do that. They would click the blue circle K button extension, or they would go to web.camihq.com. So either one gets them to the same place. When they click that blue circle button, so it looks like this with a big K, I'm not sure if it records the whole screen, so I apologize. It might just record the bottom part of the tab. So that's why I wanted to make sure you knew the circle. So it opens up a new tab with the drop-down menus of open from Google Drive, open from OneDrive, open from your computer, and then a new blank. And then they could, if they've been working on one before, they can go back and click on whatever they're working on. So let's say simple sentences. They were working on the training, but now they want to work on simple sentences. They just click that blue circle button with the K and click simple sentences. That document is still synced or linked to that assignment. So whatever they do to that PDF and turn in later to that assignment still works the same, okay? So if I'm a student and I'm taking notes, I could open up a new page. I think you can only add 1 page because of the free version. So just keep that in mind. Cornell Notes. If it was Cornell Notes, what you could do is create an assignment and have them, you create the PDF of Cornell Notes, and then they can, that way you can see their Cornell Notes too, right? Because I know usually you do, if you're an AVID, Cornell Notes checks, the homework checks. So anyway, if you click that, it opens up a new blank, and they have all the same features to type on, write on, draw on, all that fun stuff. Now again, if you wanted them to turn it in, a couple different ways. They could share it with you, okay? They can also move it from the cami main to your shared folder, okay? That is about it, I think. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know at mkarsak@sawashco.org. Have a great day.